In the depths of a grand infernal chamber, Satan sat upon his obsidian throne. The room was vast, lit only by the crimson glow of fire pits scattered around its edges. This was the throne room of hell itself, a place where power reigned supreme, and souls came to meet their ultimate reckoning. Satan, often misunderstood in his story, was not merely a villain. He was the ultimate rebel, the being who dared to defy the will of heaven. Then you have Loki, the infamous god of mischief from Norse mythology. Loki was no ordinary god. He was a shapeshifter, a trickster, and sometimes even a chaotic hero. He had spent his existence dancing on the edges of morality. To some, he was a villain, but to others, he was a necessary agent of change, a force that disrupted the stagnation of the cosmos. Their origins alone highlights their differences. Satan, as Lucifer, was originally an angel, a being of pure light created by God. His fall was a consequence of his pride and refusal to serve humanity, which he considered inferior. On the other hand, Loki's origins are less grandiose, but equally intriguing. He is a Jotun, a frost giant by birth, yet he is accepted among the Aesir, the Norse gods, due to his cunning and charm. This dual identity as both an outsider and an insider underscores his role as a disruptor. When it comes to their roles in their respective mythologies, Satan's purpose is largely symbolic. He represents temptation, sin, and the darker side of free will. He is a cautionary figure, a reminder of the dangers of hubris and the consequences of turning away from the divine guidance. Loki, by contrast, is a catalyst for change. Through his mischief and trickery, he forces the gods to adapt, grow, and even question their own morality. For instance, Loki's scheme leads to the creation of some of Asgard's greatest treasures, such as Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and Odin's spear, Gungnir. Their personalities are also vastly different. Satan is portrayed as a figure of immense pride, intellect, and manipulation. He is the master of rhetoric and deception, often depicted as a tempter who preys on humans' weakness. Loki, meanwhile, is playful and unpredictable. He is not inherently evil, but operates on his own terms, we can say, guided by his sense of personal amusement rather than desire to corrupt. His tricks often have unintended consequences, both good and bad, making him a more dynamic and morally complex character. Philosophically, the two figures also diverge. Satan represents rebellion against order and authority. His fall from heaven is a rejection of servitude, a claim to self-determination at any cost. In contrast, Loki represents the inevitability of chaos within order. In Norse mythology, the gods rely on Loki's ingenuity but also fear his unpredictability, a dynamic that mirrors the natural balance of stability and disorder in the universe. Ultimately, Satan and Loki occupy very different spaces in mythologies that created them. Satan is a symbol of ultimate defiance and punishment, deeply rooted in the dualism of good versus evil. Loki, on the other hand, is a trickster and a transformer, embodying the complexity of morality and the necessity of change in an ever-evolving cosmos. Both figures, however, continue to fascinate us because they challenge the norms of their respective worlds.